I've got new gear recommendation settings in Watcher of Realms for you guys. These are the updated gear rules and the import codes you can use to easily cleanse your gear in this game mindlessly. And it is updated for April 2025. And most importantly, it is updated to accommodate a feature I've been requesting and awaiting for a long time. And that is this over here, the Essential Attribute feature. And this allows us to, or frankly allows me, when I make these codes for you, to have a lot more power and customizability. It ensures there's a lot more customizability, or whatever the word, customization, when I go in and make sure the gear we're looking for is exactly that, exactly what we're looking for. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Not only have we updated the rules, both for the mid-game and then the late endgame, so 2 new sets of rules, but actually in a later video you will see tomorrow, I'm going to release a third code, a third kind of rules that is like proper endgame settings and the ones I specifically personally use. But that is like very advanced endgame, so it's very strict. And it also has some weirdness I customized myself. But in this video, we're going to have the 2 updated codes you're used to seeing. The mid-game code, that is for anyone that has not yet cleared stage 21 in the 3 gear raids, and not just cleared it, but taken some time to farm each one a few thousand times or whatever it is to have some solid gear. And then we've got the late endgame code. That's for anyone looking for just the most specific, refined gear, very strict settings as you try to like advance into and dominate the endgame once you advance into it and arrive there. There's one more update. It's not just to the rules, but actually how you can access these rules. People are always saying, hey, can you link me the video that has the rules? Where do I find the rules? And like, yes, we've pinned it on our Discord. Yes, I've got the video and I share people the link. But now on my website here, fastidious.gg, you can go and you can see we've got like our big banner. You can try out my new game, Raid, which by the way, I've got another channel. Feel free to check it out. I post on that daily. But then here, Watcher of Realms tools, where you can just go to the side and then here you'll find all the Watcher of Realms tools. But you go to Watcher of Realms tools and you'll see gear codes. And we can click here and it's as simple as this. The code you see currently behind me in this video, I actually updated it one more time. So please do not write this code down or input it from what you're seeing on the screen. Get it from the description or the top pinned comment, copy and paste that, or copy it straight from the website. That's the easiest way to do it. Please do that. So gear codes, these are the gear recommendation settings, import my rules, and then note, please remember, I say this in every video and people still say that my code is bugged or it's expired. No, you just can't make it 2 minutes into a video and you don't listen. You need to include the equal sign. You need to include the equal sign. So you can see these here. There's always an equal sign at the end. You must include that. That is part of the code. So if we go to the game right now, I go to manage plan and then export plan. You'll see this is my endgame, late endgame gear code. Not the personal one, but the global late and endgame code we're going to go over in this video. The equal sign is part of it. This is part of it. So I know they make it confusing. I wish they let me name it and it could be like, you know, Fasti 425 or something, right? April 2025. But no, I can't do that. So please, please do that. Archer did an amazing job quickly coding this whole extra page for you guys. And there's actually here, you can see, click the copy icon, this icon. If you click this, you will copy the code. So now I've just copied the mid-game code. You can see. So if you click the copy button, don't worry about misentering, oh, was that a 0 or an O? You know, did I remember the equal sign? You can see you just click the button and you copy it. You'll see over here we have the mid-game code. It is complete. You can copy that now or go to the website. The late and end-game code is complete. I spent about 2.5 hours on these this morning. I really think they're perfect. So if you have criticisms, let me know in the comments, but please watch the video before you do that because I am going to explain in this video how every rule works. I'm going to go through every single rule. So I'll go as fast as I can, but maybe watch that before you're like, why is this gear getting counted? Or why does this not work? I'm sure I'll address it. Maybe there's a couple things I missed, so you can let me know. But actually, give me the grace of watching my explanations before you start pointing the finger. And then finally, you'll see here Fasti's personal endgame code. This will come tomorrow. So this will be its own video. This will be a little longer and more casual, in which I explain why I make the specific decisions on my, quite endgame account now that I do. Why I make the decisions that I do. But there you go. The final thing, there'll be guide videos explaining how to use these codes and where I explain all the rules. Right now, we have our 2 latest videos. These are obviously out of date. When you're watching this, these will be updated. So when you're watching this, it'll probably be this video you're watching right now. That will be the global rules for the mid-game and then the late endgame. And then this video will turn into the video coming out tomorrow, which will be me explaining my specific endgame strict code. So you've got all the information. Remember, it's fastidious.gg/gear-codes, or just go to my website, go to Watch Over Realms Tools, and click that button right here. I'll also link the codes in the description and the top pinned comment, as I do on these kind of videos, but there are a lot of rules to discuss, so let's get into it. We've got 23 rules for the late and endgame settings, and we've got a full 25 rules. I maxed it out for the mid-game settings. And I promise you'll get the best use out of these codes if you use the appropriate settings. So I find a lot of people use my late and endgame settings when they shouldn't be. I think maybe there's some ego to it and people don't want to be in the mid-game. The mid-game for Watch Realms is very long. There's no shame in that, right? If you don't use the mid-game settings, you use the late and endgame settings, you're going to end up selling like such a huge amount of your gear. As it stands now with the late and endgame settings, on a good account, you're only finding maybe every 100 runs, one, potentially two pieces worth rolling. So imagine doing that on a mid-game account that's not yet maxing out all the gear dungeons and stuff. It's not the right thing to do. So without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to start now with the late and endgame setting explanation, and then I'll move over to the mid-game explanation. So let us begin. Let's start with our left side gear, and let's start at the top. This is attack DPS. Nothing has changed here. Because you don't need to actually use the essential attribute feature, there's nothing to target. It's always worked perfectly, right? On an attack DPS, you need attack bonus and crit rate always when you're in the late endgame, and frankly in the mid game as well. And then you need one of crit damage or attack speed. So we could have done something with the essential attributes, but the way this works, it actually sorts it out itself. Because the weapon can only have attack speed, it cannot have crit damage. And the breastplate, I'm pointing to the flat attack for the weapon and the flat HP for the breastplate, this can only have crit damage. It cannot have attack speed. So if it's a weapon, you're saying it has to be attack bonus, crit rate, attack speed. If it's a breastplate, you're saying it has to be attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage. Now, this is a big thing, and this is why I want to do this rule first and get this out of the way. You might be saying, Fastidious, that's not true. I have breastplates with attack speed. I have weapons with crit damage. I have weapons with all four of these stats. Yes. However, those weapons, those breastplates you might be thinking of, do not need my settings. So these settings determine what gets a thumbs up. These are the gear pieces that follow the rules and earn themselves a thumbs up, as you can see here. However, it's only possible, for example, to get crit damage on a weapon if it's a variant, an ancient, or an exclusive. Those automatically cannot be quick sold. Those automatically get a thumbs up. Right? Same thing for the breastplate. So you can get attack speed on a variant breastplate, on an exclusive breastplate, on an ancient breastplate. Those cannot be quick sold. Those will get a thumbs up by default. So I don't have to put those into my rules. These are just for normal pieces of gear, non-exclusive, non-ancient, non-variant. Maybe we'll reach a point where there's customizability for those things, those ancients and variants and exclusives. But as it stands now, that's not happening. So here you go. This rule is the same. Let's go to our next one, and now we get our first introduction to the new thing, the essential attribute. So what's so cool about the essential attribute? Well, let me explain it here. It's saying these are the stats I need. These are the essential ones. And then for the remaining ones I want you to select, you can pick from what's left over. So let's see that in action. We've got the HP DPS. You can see here, this is something I do specifically for the late and endgame rules. I've only put Astral Guardian and Immortal Warrior. That's because you don't need much HP DPS gear. Right now, it's really just kind of Gluttony, but essentially just Malvira, so you can be very picky. I don't want Annihilating Might. I don't want Wicked Vengeance. I'm focused. I want to get the full tankiness and the full DPS, so I want to go for main stats. So I want Astral Guardian and Mortal Warrior, and frankly, this is not the kind of gear that I need much of. You basically need one set of it, so I don't need to be looking for Life Force to ascend. We're just going straight to the Tier 2 and the Tier 3. So you can see I've selected a lot of secondary attributes here. The main stat's obviously locked on the left side, and what is this? We've selected 6. But for the essential attributes, I've locked in the 3 that really matter. HP bonus, crit rate, and crit damage. So of the 4, 3 of them have to be those. That's what essential attribute means. That's what's so powerful. And then what it does, the remaining 3, it's saying the 4th attribute can be one of the remaining 3. So we're getting HP bonus, that's essential. We're getting crit rate, that's essential. We're getting crit damage, that is essential. However, for the 4th substat, it can't be random, but it must be flat HP, defense bonus, or attack speed. So this is the difference between an AND function and an OR function, right? We need crit rate and crit damage and HP bonus, and then we need and this or this or this. One of those 3. So you'll see that a lot. That's how this new feature works. Let's continue on. Now we have our defense DPS. Historically, I folded these 2 into one rule. However, there are examples where you want something specific for your defense DPS. So you'll see, again, the sets are the same and very picky. We have 3 required attributes. It's the same as before, except now we have defense bonus. So it's saying on my weapon, I need defense bonus, crit rate, and crit damage. and then I need one of two stats, flat defense and attack speed. On your breastplate, it's actually saying you need these three and flat defense, because on a normal piece of gear, attack speed isn't possible. So it's saying on the breastplate, we need defense bonus, crit rate, crit damage, and then we need either flat defense or attack speed, but for the breastplate, you can't get attack speed. So it's locking in that defense. You notice there's no HP bonus, but you can get a lot of HP bonus on the right side. There are very few defense DPS. Currently, there's none that are really good. I'm thinking once a good one comes, you're going to want to really crank defense to the moon. So that is the logic here. When we get into the mid-game rules, a lot of this becomes a lot more lenient. However, with stuff like defense DPS and HP DPS, because it's so specific and you need so little, it's actually not that lenient. That's one example where it is similar strictness. But something like attack DPS, I am so much more lenient for the mid-game than I am for the late and end game. I also want to give a quick shout out to Pink Jesus. This time he didn't help me like directly, but he did give a once over, twice over to each set of rules to make sure I hadn't missed anything, and he had a couple great contributions at the end. So typically we fully collaborate. This time he was kind of just like my editor or whatever, my final trusted set of eyes. So now we have our attack healer weapon. So this is a weapon for an attack-based healer. You can see I do not include salvation. For the mid-game rules we do, but you don't need salvation. It can't ascend. You completely outgrow it in the late and end game. I sell all of my salvation full stop unless it's an ancient, in which case it's going to get a thumbs up automatically, so it doesn't matter. So you can see here, the essential attributes are attack bonus and attack speed. I'm requiring 3 attributes, so we know those are 2 of them. And then here's a good example, right? So heal effect, HP bonus, and flat HP. I'm saying I want one of those 3. Some of you might want to go in and edit this rule to make it even stricter. When you see my rules, that is what I do on my specific rules. However, a piece like this with attack bonus, attack bonus, attack speed, and flat HP, and then maybe flat defense or whatever, something you don't want, crit rate, could still be really good for a lot of players as they enter the end game. So that's why I've left this a little broader. Let's go to the chest here. Very simple now. We want 3 attributes. The 2 required, the essential ones, are attack bonus and heal effect. And then for the third one, I'll take, you can already see how powerful the essential attribute is, right? But I'll take either flat attack, flat HP, or HP bonus. We want a little extra tankiness, or I want some more main stat for healing. Now we've got our healer weapon. You can see here, we've got Astral Guardian, Light's Grace, Immortal Warrior, Life Force, and Whirlwind. Some people might want to take out Life Force. You'll see when we do my video tomorrow. I do, but I think some people might still want it. But again, no salvation. We're looking for a full 4 attributes, and the way it functions here is the 2 essential attributes are HP bonus and attack speed, and then I want 2 out of the following: flat defense, flat HP, defense bonus, HP bonus, heal effect, right? Sorry, HP bonus is one of the essentials. So flat defense, flat HP, defense bonus, and heal effect. Some of you might want to be stricter and remove flat defense or move defense bonus. I find with a lot of the harder content, sometimes my healers need a little bit of defense, so I'm willing to include it, level it, see how it goes. Some of you might want to change that. Do it at your pleasure. Import my code, and then you can make little edits as you go. All right, now we got the HP healer chest. So we got 3 attributes we want. The 2 required ones are HP bonus and heal effect. So those are these 2, and then I'll take either flat defense and defense bonus. For me, just HP bonus and heal effect is not enough once you're in the late and end game. If it's HP bonus, heal effect, attack bonus, and crit rate, that's not cutting it. I really don't care, especially because you're going to get so much good Light's Grace that is exclusive. Whether it's a Constance piece or Elwyn piece or something that's going to have the special stats, the attack speed, the rage regen, stuff like that. Now for our tank weapon. So this is the weapon slot for a tanky guy. This is something we've been able to change because of the essential attributes. So you can see I am including Life Force here in these rules. Personally, I've also graduated from Life Force on my account. All the amazing Life Force pieces I could ever want, I have. At this point, I'm not hunting for any more. Unless it's a quad gold, which isn't going to happen, I'm over it. But I'm leaving it in here because it can still help a lot of people. You can see the essential attributes are defense bonus and HP bonus. And for the following 2 attributes we still need, I'll take either flat defense, flat HP, or attack speed. Previously, we could not do this, right? Because things could go awry. If I said I wanted 4 of these 5, you might miss HP bonus or miss defense bonus. That's unacceptable. The essential attributes have allowed us to elevate this rule in a big way. Now we've got the tank chest. This one's really simple and hasn't changed. You want this trifecta. You can't get flat HP because that's the primary attribute. So we want defense bonus, HP bonus, and flat defense. That is simple. Finally, we've got our inspiration stuff. A lot of people send me pictures saying, why did this make it through your filter? And I hope you made it to this point of the video because I have some specific rules. I think inspiration things are very important, especially with all the different inspiration heroes we have in the game now. Since my last rules, we got Beelzebub, we got Constance. That's kind of a big deal. So you can see for the inspiration weapon, I'm requiring attack bonus and HP bonus. Yes, I want the attack bonus. That's for the inspiration. You can't get flat attack. It's the main stat, but I want some tankiness. Once you reach the late in endgame, you need that tankiness. And you'll see nothing changed here for the chest. Flat attack bonus. Simple. Let's go to the 3-piece. And by the way, for the mid-game, because they're very similar to all these you're seeing now, they're just broader. I'm going to go a lot faster, but we do have to take our time with this first grouping. So to start off, we have DPS attack. So you can see these are the 2 tier 3 DPS sets, Cataclysm and Hell's Lament. Then we have our big 3 tier 2 sets, and then we have our big 3 tier 1 sets that ascend into these, right? Respectively, Insight becomes Infernal Roar, Wisdom becomes Soulbound Arcana, Night Terror becomes Ageless Wrath. So really cool thing now that we can do. I used to have to break this up into 4 different rules. Now we get one big rule because of the power of Essential Attribute. You'll notice it's called Essential Attribute, not Essential Secondary Attribute, and that is really good because it can say that the primary counts as an Essential Attribute. So that's very relevant specifically for this rule and some of the right side stuff where we have the variable main stat, where we don't have the variable main stat on the left. So see here, primary attribute, attack bonus, crit damage, or attack speed. We are requiring those 3 to be either the primary or the substat, and we need crit rate as a substat. So let me give you an example. Attack speed is the main stat. Well, that's hitting an essential attribute. It's the main stat, so that's covered. That means in the substats, we need attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage. Crit damage is the main stat. Well, that's covered here. And then we need crit rate, attack bonus, attack speed. And then finally, attack bonus is the main stat. Well, now we got attack speed, crit damage, attack bonus. So key thing here, you will see these are all covered, but let's just use the example. You did attack bonus. That means you need crit rate, crit damage, attack speed. And now it's saying it's allowing for the 4th stat. It can be flat attack. It can be HP. It can be HP bonus. It can be rage regen. You got a lot of flexibility with that. I did need 1 second DPS rule. So at the beginning, you might have saw I said we had 23 out of 25 rules. I actually had to add another a few minutes ago. You guys won't know it, but I had to cut because I realized there's one little thing we did miss, and that is this over here. What about heroes that need that same combination but actually don't need attack speed? So I made that rule as well. Same stats. You can see now the primary is just attack bonus and crit damage. So people like Zealous and Fierna, Siren. I mean, there's cultists that this happens for. Virna's the big example. Call it the Virna rule. Maybe you don't need attack speed, or maybe you get attack speed enough from your other stuff, and for certain heroes, you're comfortable not having attack speed, even if they benefit from attack speed. And that really is a thing if the gear is good enough, if the rolls are huge, right? So you can see you're getting attack bonus and crit damage. You're guaranteeing crit rate as well. So these cover 2 of the substats because one of them will be the main. And for the next 2, it actually is locked in, guaranteed. It has to be flat attack and rage regen, right? So it's the same thing as this before, but it's saying I don't want attack speed, but I still want perfection. One edit you could do, right? You could add in HP bonus if you wanted some tankiness in the mix. But I think if you're going for this, you're really leaning into DPS. But again, you can edit these as you go. Now, here's a rule specifically suggested by Pink Jesus that I really like. So if a crit rate main piece, you only would use it in the late end game if it's very OP. But if it is, that frees you up to have good DPS gear without crit rate. So in that case, you're not going to want to run an attack speed amulet because you're already wasting crit rate for one of your main stats. But you're going to want attack bonus and crit damage on the other 2 right side pieces. And then you can ignore crit rate in the substats. So that's what we're doing here. We're saying attack bonus or crit rate's the main stat, so one of the others is the substat, and then we also need flat attack, because if you're missing out on attack bonus as the main stat, you need flat attack in the substat for this amulet or ring, whatever we're discussing. And then you'll see for the remaining 2, right, because let's say it's attack bonus, you've locked in crit damage and flat attack. For the remaining 2, it is locking in that those will be attack speed and rage regen. So essentially when you're in the late and end game, and you're doing a main stat piece with attack bonus or crit damage, but you don't need crit rate, you need the 4 substats to be perfect. So if it's attack bonus, you want crit damage, rage regen, attack speed, flat attack. And then if it's attack bonus as the main stat, you get it, right? You get it. So this is a very specific rule, but it can be really powerful, especially on an endgame account. If you have some busted ancient crit rate bangle, and it can really make a set work, this can be really powerful. Okay, let's continue. Now we've got crit main stat. I used to have this in 3 or 4 rules. Now we can consolidate it into 1. If crit rate is your main stat, it's the same sets here, but we want the essential attributes that you need attack bonus, you need crit damage. Obviously, crit rate is the main stat. And for the remaining 2, it must be 2 out of the following 3. Flat attack, rage regen, attack speed. So basically, you need some kind of perfect 4 to go with that crit rate. So it's crit rate with attack bonus, crit damage, And then it could be attack speed rage regen, it could be attack speed flat attack, it could be flat attack rage regen. You get it. All right, now we have our cat crit rules. So this is specifically for crit rate main stat, Cataclysm Bangles. I know it's niche. If you don't want it, delete it. But it's very hard getting good Cataclysm. But when you get a good piece, you want to use it. But you might just not have the other pieces to match. So having a decent crit rate Cataclysm Bangle can unlock the whole set for an account. So this is something I like to look out for. So you need crit rate as the main stat. The essential attributes are attack bonus and crit damage. And you want one other of the substats. So you want at least 3 substats to be good. Attack bonus guaranteed, crit damage guaranteed. And you want the final third relevant one. The fourth one can be crap. We'll allow it. But that final third needs to be flat attack, flat HP, HP bonus, rage regen, attack speed. You get it. You can be more specific with this. You can. But I find it so hard to get good Cataclysm gear. I'm okay with these lenient of rules. So let's move on. That covers our attack-based DPS. Now you'll see we've got our DPS for HP heroes. The sets here, they kind of make sense. The only key one that might be missing is Tempered Will. That doesn't give HP, so we went for Unshaken Will. And then I did go for Guardian just because, sometimes if you had really good DPS, you might be happy to get a little tankiness from the set, even though this doesn't help with the HP. Then we have our normal DPS sets and Asclepius because that gives HP. Same kind of story here. Primary attributes can be any of these 3. The essential attributes have to match that as well, except not including the attack speed because we could theoretically live without it with an HP bonus main or crit damage main. And then you'll see we're looking for tankiness, some kind of rage regen or speed, or DPS. That's in the secondary attributes. Let's go to defense DPS. This is identical. The only changes is now we've replaced defense bonus with HP bonus, or rather replaced the HP bonus with defense bonus, and we've replaced the Unshaken Will with Tempered Will. This gives defense. Everything else really mirrors. You can kind of make sense of it now. Glacier, some people don't like this rule, so delete it. You do get enough good Glacier Ancients that you might not want it, but I do like this rule because it's very, very powerful and very intentional. You can get perfect Glacier pieces, which I could see the set getting buffed, or I could see it being relevant for future content. It works very well on Constants, and I love Constants. So up to you if you want to keep this rule. So the primary attribute has to be attack bonus or HP bonus, and then you need that in the substat too, and then you need the flat stat versions as well. So that covers 3 substats, right? You're getting one of these 2 as the main. The other one's going to be a sub plus the 2 flat stats. So for the 4th substat, it can be defense bonus, it can be rage regen, or it can be attack speed. That is my Glacier rule. Feel free to delete it if you don't want it. Now we've got attack-based healers. So this has gotten a little more powerful too because we got to use our essential attributes. So we're locking in if the main stat's attack bonus, we need rage regen and attack speed. And then if the main stat's rage regen, we need attack bonus attack speed. And if this main stat's attack speed, we need attack bonus rage regen. You get it. Those are locked in as the essential. So that covers 2 substats. And then I'm keeping the 4th substat variable. It can be random, but that 3rd substat must be the missing one. So either HP bonus or some tankiness or heal effect for extra healing. We'll see, right? That's how I'm approaching it. For HP-based healer, it's the exact same story here. But the variability now goes to flat HP and heal effect. Those are what the 3rd stat can be. The rest is covered. Now we have spammer utility. I've worked on this as well. So these are for heroes like Mari or Aeon or Laurel, heroes that just need to get a lot of attacks out fast. Certain builds for I. So the main stat, you need some tankiness, rage regen, or attack speed. So just like the healer stuff, the HP-based healer, we cover that. But for the sets, we want those Invig sets. We want those Morale sets, Wings of Grace, Mana Spring, keep it going. And then we'll look for some tankiness with the other stuff. So, these main stats, then you've got the other 2 that aren't the main stat as substats. The remaining 2 substats are going to be flat defense, flat HP, or defense bonus. So 2 out of those 3. Now we got our tank stuff. So these are the good tank sets plus morale and invig. Because endgame, if your gear's good enough, you can totally make those work and get a little extra bang for your buck out of your tank, which is essentially for most content in Watcher of Realms, there just to take hits. And you can see the essential attributes. We need the defense bonus. We need the HP bonus. And then for the remaining 2, or frankly, remaining 3, because one of the other one's going to be the primary stat. For the remaining 3, it has to be 3 out of the 4. So out of defense, flat HP, attack speed, and rage regen, you need 3 out of those 4. So this can lead to some really good tank gear, and that's enabled by the essential attribute. Now, finally, inspiration. These are our inspiration sets. You might be wondering, why is Mana Spring there or something? That would be for like a Narvi build in Arena. You can take that out if you want. Why is Asclepius there? That is to ascend and become Invigoration. But we're looking for attack bonus as the main stat. We need flat attack, and then I want at least one tanky substat, whether that be HP bonus or flat HP. So that's what we're looking for here. We're requiring the attack, and then it's one of these 2. These are the sets those are the late and end game rules. So remember to copy directly. Don't just like write it down from the screen at the beginning of the video, because I did just update the late and end game code. So you can see it here. You can copy that if you want. However, I figure I can show you how to use the website in conjunction with the game right now as we move to the mid-game codes. So let me actually show you how to import that. So here we are on the website. Click on mid-game code, click the icon. You can see now it's copied. If you want to double check, you could paste, but I promise you it works. There you go, DM equals at the end. So that's how you know it's correct. You go here, and then how do you get to the settings, and then how do you import? I didn't cover that, so we'll cover that now. So I really hope people made it deeper into the video. Otherwise, maybe we'll put some timestamps. But if you don't know, you got to go to your hero roster, click on heroes. Then you got to go click on any hero, go to gear, click on any piece of gear, and that pops up this with the sell button. Click sell, click recommendation settings, go to manage plan, and then go to import plan. So remember, we just copied my mid-game code from the website. Let's Control V and paste that, paste it directly, search, and now it says this is going to overwrite your current plan. Let's do it. I'm going to confirm the import, and here we go. These are my mid-game rules. Off to the races. I'm going to try to go fast here. Here we have the attack DPS weapon, same as before, except I'm not requiring attack speed. Just being a little looser with it. It's a mid-game rule. Now we've got the attack DPS chest. This got a lot more powerful thanks to the essential attribute. So we need attack bonus, we need crit rate, so that's always going to be good. And then for that third good stat, it can be crit damage or flat attack. So that's enabled by the essential attribute. Without that, if I said pick 3 of these 4, they could pick flat attack, crit rate, and crit damage, and then you miss out on attack bonus, which is a disaster. Or they could pick attack bonus, flat attack, and crit damage. You miss out on the crit rate. So now we're locked into it in a good way. Now we've got HP DPS, same as before, except I included Life Force. Now we've got Defense DPS, same as before, except I included Life Force for that extra tankiness. If you want, you could throw in, Wicked Vengeance and Annihilating Might. Personally, I wouldn't do it. You could throw in Whirlwind as well. I wouldn't do it, even in the mid-game. Now, Attack Healer Weapon, same as before, except we've included Salvation. Attack Healer Chest, same as before, except we included Salvation, and I'm not requiring any third attribute, so being a little less strict. HP Healer Weapon, same as before, except we are now including Salvation. And here, same as before, HP Healer Chest, we're including Salvation, and I'm making no third attributes needed as long as we hit these 2. Tank Weapon, you can see the key thing is we don't need 3 or 4 stats. We just need the 3, and 2 of them just have to be defense bonus and HP. Before we needed those 2 plus 2 out of a remaining 3. So just slightly looser. That is the theme with the mid-game codes. Here, just defense bonus and HP. That's enough on the chest. And then Inspiration Weapon and Inspiration Chest. These are identical. There's actually nothing different. Actually, there is one change. For the Inspiration Weapon, I'm not saying you need HP bonus for some tankiness as a substat. So just the attack is fine because you kind of need all the chances at good Inspiration gear, good Invig, good stuff to go with your Invig or Wings of Grace or Morale or whatever early on, right? So it needs to be Warlord and Calamity. This one just attack bonus will do, and this one flat attack and attack bonus. Let's go to the 3-piece sets. So we got DPS Attack 1. So this is just like our DPS Attack 1 last time, the same sets, but because we're focusing on the good sets, I'm a little looser with the rules. So what do I mean by that? The only key things we absolutely need are attack bonus and crit rate, and the third one can be one of a bunch, right? So if it's crit damage, you know you're getting attack bonus and crit rate, and then it could be this. But if it's attack bonus, it's just crit rate, and then we need 2 of the remaining. So I hope that makes sense, so you can talk it through. If it's attack bonus, we need crit rate, and then we'll take 2 out of flat attack, rage regen, crit damage, attack speed. If it's one of the other ones, we know we have these 2 covered, and then we'll take 1 out of the other remaining ones. However, we have the exact same rules, actually, for the DPS Attack 2, but in this case, I'm allowing every set because these are going to end up being perfect subsets, some perfect 4 of those 3 combinations, and I'm okay with that for broken set if I'm still in the mid-game. Broken that set works through beating stage 21. It completely works. You'll notice there's no DPS Attack 3 accounting for no crit rate. That's something that's a lot harder to get away with, and in general, you just don't want to be hyper-focused on those pieces, and you shouldn't over-invest in them, in my opinion. That will come later. You can include it if you want. I chose not to. We've got our crit rate main stat here. It's really the same as before, except I'm including the tier 1 sets. That is the change. So I wouldn't ascend it, but you might still be using tier 1 sets. So that's why I've included them. These are the good DPS ones. Really, Wisdom and Night Terror are the better ones. Now we've got tier 3 crit. This is very similar to my Cataclysm rule, except we're just requiring 2 substats, no third optionality. It's attack bonus and crit damage going with our crit rate main stat, and it's not just Cataclysm. I'm also doing Hell's Lament in case you get some good pieces and you want to finish off a set. Now we've got our HP DPS. When it comes to the HP DPS, all that really happened here is I got more liberal with the sets. We've got some tier 1 stuff, and I got a little less picky with the attributes. I shouldn't even say that. I didn't get less picky with the attributes. It's really just the sets. So just a little more liberal with the sets. Same thing with DPS, just a little more tier 1 in here. If we continue on to the Glacier rule is basically identical. The only thing is I am allowing more random stuff. So if we actually go here to these secondary attributes, I've included all of them, and I did that just to make sure we could hit the big 3 we want. So we're getting attack bonus or HP bonus as the main. One or the other will be the substat. Then we're getting HP bonus and getting flat attack. And then I'm just saying for the 4th one, I don't care. But they wouldn't let me lock in 4 attributes if I lock in 4 essentials if I didn't require 4 attributes. So for the other stuff, I've just included everything. So for that 4th substat, we don't care. But basically, if it's attack bonus, we want HP bonus, flat HP, flat attack. If it's HP bonus, we want attack bonus, flat HP, flat attack. The 4th one, it is what it is. Now we've got attack healer, identical rules as before, except slightly less restrictive. We're not asking for a 3rd set, I should say. 3rd substat, excuse me. And I'm allowing any set because you'll totally happily run broken set gear for an attack healer. Same thing for HP healer. We're just requiring the matching 2 substats to whatever the primary stat isn't. And then we're including all sets because you can totally run broken set. Spammer utility is identical to before, except I'm saying all sets are fine because, again, broken set is fine. Tank 1, so we've got 2 kind of tanks here. We'll start with tank 2. These are the same rules as the tank rule for the late and end game, except it includes all sets because you'll run broken set. And then when it comes to the sets we actually want, these guys over here, well, in this case, I'm being a little more liberal with what I'm looking for. I'm basically saying as long as it has defense bonus and HP bonus, I'm good to go. And then we'll take one other because one of them is going to be the main stat. So for that 3rd one, it can be flat defense or flat HP. So this is saying if it's HP bonus, give me defense bonus and either flat HP or flat defense. And if it's defense bonus, give me HP bonus and either flat defense or flat HP. So pretty good and quite liberal with those good sets because those good sets are very good. And finally, for inspiration, identical to before. Nothing else here. It's just the same thing. So there you go, guys. You understand all the rules. The reason I get so pedantic and explain all the rules is I want to make sure you understand them so you see why I made the choices, and then you have the power, the knowledge to go change them as you see fit for your account. So look out for it tomorrow. I will take you through my account and show you how I make the changes to tailor to my account's needs and my desires. Let's do a final refresh here so you can see. So the time you watch this video, the video you're watching now will be the linked ones down here. Tomorrow, my specific video will also be linked down here talking about my specific code. That will also come out tomorrow. For now, just copy and paste, throw it in, and enjoy. Thank you for watching. I have been Fastidious. This stuff takes a lot of work, so I hope you like it. If you made it to the end of the video, say hi, make sure you're subscribed, share it with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.